Good morning, and what the hell is going on, man? I hope you guys are doing well. I want to drop some thoughts on you guys. The conversation that was started over on Instagram about dealing with hurt, and just offer my insight on how I have learned to handle things. Now, this hurt doesn't necessarily have to be specifically to do with relationships. I know a lot of times, a lot of the complaining and bitching and groaning that you hear, especially on social media, is a result of a relationship that has gone awry. And I think a lot of that has to do with we invest so much into a relationship that when that pain happens, it seems to be deeper than anything. I think as human beings, we are extremely loving people, and we desire to be loved and appreciated so much for who we are, right? Our good and bad. And so when that pain happens, it tends to be a lot bigger than any of the other pains that we suffer. But I think all pains are an opportunity to grow and to learn from. So one of the things that I have learned to do over the years, through relationships, through losing jobs, losing friends, being betrayed, all these things so I think it's a self-protective mechanism for us to always blame that other person, right? So one of the biggest lessons that I've learned here in the last probably 10, 15 years is to take responsibility for my part in things, whether that been me overreacting and pushing people away, right? Or whether it just been me not communicating. We expect people to just assume and to know what we want out of relationships and situations, and we don't communicate it because we expect them to know, right? Well, how do they know? Right? Do you even know? Do you even know you enough to know, what you want from a person? Communication is huge. I tend to come off a bit aggressive when I communicate, probably because I'm so calculated when I do things. So when I speak, it comes from a place where I've thought about it time and time again. So it's strictly the facts, right? There's not a lot of emotion in it unless I've gotten upset to the point where I'm probably raising my voice. But the key to learning from these situations is to accept responsibility for your part, first of all. And like I said, that could be a number of things, but we always blame other people. We always blame other situations. We never fully just accept our responsibility. And we may have had the best intentions, right? It just may have not been communicated in that manner. And so it's a conversation that needs to be had. So I think accepting responsibility helps you deal with hurt. It helps you learn from the pain that has been caused, and helps you take that lesson into the next situation. So let's start there. Let's look back over the pain that you've suffered and the hurt that's been caused. And I'm sure, as perfect as we think we are, we've caused our fair bit of pain as well. I know I have, and I accept responsibility for that too. When I'm sitting down having a conversation with someone, I immediately take responsibility for my part. I know that there's some things about my personality. I know just the way that I view the world and I view life and its obstacles and the hurdles that come about, that I am very much responsible for a lot of the things that have gone on, in my life. Another thing I want to express or get you guys' opinion on is, have you taken adequate time to heal from the last pain that has been caused? We get out of a relationship where we're broken and we're so beat and battered that we feel like the best thing to do is to go jump back in another relationship where somebody's making us feel adequate, making us feel good about ourselves, so we don't really have to deal with the pain that was caused from the relationship we got out of. But that's a huge mistake. Like, you need to take as much time as you feel that you need to in order to start feeling good about yourself without having to have someone else put you up on a pedestal or make you feel so incredible. You need to make you feel incredible without anything else being involved. Once you reach that place, it also teaches you how to be loved, right? So you can go into the next relationship or the next friendship or the next job, right? With being able to verbally express your expectations from that person or that situation. And we never do that, right? We go jump into another situation with somebody else and we haven't fully recovered. And subconsciously, I think what happens is, since we haven't dealt with that pain, the betrayal, or whatever it may be, that we subconsciously bring that into the new relationship, right? So if you let's just say you got out of a relationship with somebody that you found out has cheated on you. Let's just say that that's happened in the last 2 or 3 relationships you have. If you never get over that, then subconsciously you expect the new person that you're with to do the same. And even though you guys are enjoying life and you're learning each other and you're doing all these things, that in the back of your mind, you expect to be cheated on. So everything that mimics the behavior of those past relationships, you assume that that person is going to do the same thing to you, and that may not be the case. You may be actively destroying a relationship that was put into your path, to be incredible. But because you didn't get over that pain, because you didn't realize where it came from, and face it and figure out what the problem was, then you subconsciously bring that back into your life, and it's sad because we end up destroying a lot of good people that God sends us because we haven't reconciled with the issues that we brought into the new situation. I've done it before, and I've been the victim of it being done to me before. And when you realize, like, your quality of life suffers because you're carrying around all this negative baggage that you don't really address and that you don't, figure out, then, we're only here for a limited time, and we only get a few good people that cross our paths. And for us to ruin those people because of some issues that we haven't dealt with, it's extremely saddening, and it hurts people, and it sends that person out into the world wounded with some of the same beliefs that you may have had. Right? So let's take accountability for our actions. Let's heal, right? Let's heal and learn what's going on with us. Another thing, too, is you need to figure out what a good person, a potential suitor, is for you, right? It can't be based on superficial things. It needs to be a deeper connection, because those superficial things will pass. And we go back to blaming that person for us not feeling that same excitement, that same passion that we had in the beginning. But if it's a surface level lust, right, which is a huge deal, then once that feeling passes, there's no substance there, and there's nothing really to hold on to. So when those storms come for you both, and they're going to come from you independently, they're going to come from you for you together as a couple. They are coming. So it needs to be, some depth to that relationship. I frequently see, especially on social media, like, guys and girls complaining about there being no good men or no good women, or they find themselves in this situation over and over again. If you look at certain people, this is the case month after month, year after year, but you never see these people say, you know what, I'm done with relationships from now. I'm going to get closer to God. I'm going to figure out who I am. I'm going to figure out what I was doing in the relationship that caused it to go this way, and I'm going to come back to you guys, and I'm going to be a different person so that I can attract better people. Because the one common denominator in every relationship or every situation that you go in is you. You carry you into that situation. So at some point, you got to realize that you may be part of the problem. Hell, you may be the problem. I've had to realize that. Like, I'm hard to get along with at times. I'm extremely driven. I believe in a certain route to success, and it comes off very type A and anal and those types of things. But it's something that, again, I take responsibility for. I'm the first one to say it's me, right? And to work on those things. And one of the things that helps me out is when I find that dark person, I think it's a dark, well, people may think it's a dark person. I think it's a great trait to have, but it's not common. It's a mechanism that I have adapted because of how I grew up, I think, and a lot of things that I've been through, right? So I try to take myself out of a situation and get, like, I'll go out for a hike or a run or get on my bike because I want to just speak to God and say, God, like, help me through this, help me figure this thing out so that I can come back and have this conversation as a better person and not be the old Robert, the Robert that if things aren't going my way, I'm destructive. Anything in my path will get destroyed if things aren't, the way that I want them to be or the way that I saw them going. And that's not a good thing. And especially in relationships, man, you're combining, two flawed people, and we all are flawed. I think that we really as individuals have to understand that as perfect as you think you are, you're not. Like, somebody's dealing with your shit too. So just like you feel like you're in a situation where you're having to deal with this person that's constantly letting you down or doesn't show up on time or doesn't see things the way that you see them, well, guess fucking what? They're dealing with your shit as well. And although you think that your shit doesn't stink, trust me, you got some issues. Some of the most eye-pleasing people in the world that you would look at from a surface level view, you would think like this person should have their pick of men or women. Look at them. Like, this is what we've been taught is the ideal body to have, is the ideal face to have, they have the job and the life that we strive for. But yet and still they're unhappy too. It's because they haven't dealt with those flaws that they have. They don't think they have any flaws. And I can't tell you how many conversations I have had with people, and they have absolutely, you'll never hear them say, this was my fault. Like, I did this. Like, I need to work on this and feel this. Yet, probably started dating in maybe in elementary school. I think girls started just telling me, like, you're my boyfriend and we're together. And I was like, dude, I'm a short dude. I'm barely 5'8", right? And I'm the class clown and that whole thing. But really seriously, I think emotionally learning what it was like to like someone and to expect that person to be your girl, maybe in middle school. So maybe 12, 13 years old, started with, what I would consider dating then. And I cannot tell you one time that I have had a conversation with someone that I was in a relationship with that they said, I apologize for making you feel this way. These are some things that I need to work on. So that tells you a lot, right? Just that simple thing there lets you know that you've been heard and that somebody's taking responsibility for the way that they made you feel. I think I read a quote a few years back that said something along the lines of, nobody's allowed to tell you how what they did to you made you feel. And that's something that, because we think we have the best intentions, we don't understand where the hurt and pain came from. And even with the best intentions, sometimes things just don't come across the way that we want them to come. But we have no right to tell somebody how our actions or our words made them feel. So take that into consideration. Just take some time and take a deep breath and just take accountability, figure out who you are, figure out what you want from a person, figure out the things that you can be changing in the meantime, and also realize a huge part of what you attract in life is what you send out. So if you are sending out those positive vibes, like in your mind, if you believe that, hey, I'm going to attract great people, I'm going to attract great opportunities, and you're working towards that, which means you're becoming a person that is deserving of those things, and not just based on what we all think is that we all deserve greatness, which may be true, but you need to be working towards those things. Why do you need the job that pays you 6-7 figures? Why do you need the person that is willing to lay their life down for you? Why do you, like, what makes you significantly the person that attracts that? So you have to, like, those thoughts need to come out, and you need to be that person. Like, put your pride and put your ego aside and constantly becoming better. Constantly be trying to become the person that is deserving of those things, and more than just you thinking that you deserve them, like by your works, right? And if you're learning who God wants you to be and developed you to be as a person, who he created you to be, then you start attracting those things. Don't compare yourself to others. Social media, dude, you get caught up in that thing, and it'll make you feel like your life is miserable, but there's so much that you don't know about people. There's so much pain and hurt that's going on that people don't share. They keep under wraps. And I try to be as transparent as possible to you guys. What I don't, and I may need to be even better at this, what I do try not to do is, if I'm in such a bad place and I feel like that's going to come off, and as many people that follow me and pay attention to what I do, if I feel like it's going to harm people or put them in a bad place, sometimes I don't share those things. But I'll say, hey, I've been, kind of feeling tired and under the weather and overstressed and those things. But if I feel like I'm gonna get on this camera, right, and I'm gonna start just bitching and complaining and like being negative, and it affects a ton of people, I don't present that. But I will be honest that I'm in a place that I need prayers and I need some time to figure things out. I'm not gonna keep you guys any longer. This is drawn on long enough. I wanted to have this conversation with you guys. If you don't mind, if you watch this video to the end, I would appreciate it if you let me know what I'm wrong by saying, or what I'm wrong for feeling, and what I'm right, or the things that you agree with me on, so that I can get better at those things as well. But more so than that, I would love to know how you guys are handling pain. Are you taking accountability? Are you becoming a better person? What do you do to get over the hurt and the pain that has been caused in your life, or that you've caused? I want to know those things. So you guys definitely comment below. Let's have that conversation, and let's let this video turn to another video. We'll continue the conversation, and we'll go from there, man. I love you guys, like literally, like I'm not just saying that on some BS. Y'all have gotten me through some of the toughest times of life, and just by your comments, just by you. Like, I have friends from, like, live in Katy, Texas, and I have friends from here, social media friends over in Australia, in Asia, Hawaii. And so the hours are off, right? So we're either behind or ahead or whatever the case may be. But to wake up and have a ton of messages in my DM like, Rob, you got to get out today and you got to tackle the day, or your smile brings us so much joy, or your positivity does this, like that, it holds me accountable to using my gift to lift others. So I appreciate it. Your messages and your words and your kindness, and just you guys being so open to me, it goes noticed, and I feel a duty, if I get that, to return it. So I don't know any messages that I don't return. So I'm always on my phone. I got several businesses I'm trying to launch and these things, but I'm always returning messages, because I believe no matter how insignificant or significant you think that you are, you took the time out of your day to say something to me. Hopefully it was positive, but if it was, I don't return negative messages. I usually delete and block people if it's just somebody being an idiot. But those of you that take the time out of your day to encourage me, to say that I've done something to make you feel better about life, I cannot thank you enough for that, because there's been days where I literally didn't want to get out of bed. I just want to kind of lay around and mope, and like I don't see any end to a lot of the stuff that I have going on. I'm knee deep in so many things, trying to figure them out. So those messages made me be like, Robert, this, you got this, man. You can keep going, and you're gonna be successful, and this is all going to work out. And if you don't believe yourself, look at these people. Like you're inspiring them to get up and do some things and to start some things and be amazing. So thank you guys for that. And I try to always show my appreciation and me being thankful to you guys for everything that you've done. I will not keep you any longer. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for subscribing, liking. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I am r.d.perry on Instagram. I think my Facebook page is almost maxed out. It's a lot of family stuff. It's kind of become more of a meme page at this point, but I need to grow the YouTube audience. I kind of slept on it, and TikTok as well. So we're going to figure that out, man. Thank you guys. I love you all. Have a great Sunday, and you guys be blessed.